All right, we are live. Make sure everything is streaming on all pages. Thank you guys. Welcome to this session of Blitz Club. This is the Turbo Thursdays. We will be working Pomodoro style. There will be three 30-minute sessions. So there's 94 minutes of live co-working that will take place so that we can bust through our tasks, whatever you have scheduled for today. As you join, please enter in where you're joining us from. If you have any tasks that you plan on working on for the first 30-minute session so that we can get going with holding each other accountable, I will insert the link for joining us on stage here. And I think you should be able to type that in. A lot of times it works a lot better if we're all on together with our cameras on, just really holding each other accountable as we're working through our tasks for today. I'm going to give it about 4 minutes before we get started so that we can really get in and get that work done and have an awesome co-working session. Go ahead. Good. So it does show that on there for you guys. Perfect. Everything is kind of in order. As you come in, please enter where you're joining us from, what you plan on working on, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask those. We'll get started in about 5 minutes. All right, we'll get started in about 2 minutes. All right, let's go ahead and get started in this first session.
Je le savais très bien, mais je ne sais plus rien.
All right, all right. We are done with the first session of today's co-working session. I see a couple of you guys that are watching. Feel free to hit the link to join us on stage. We have just on stage with us today. I know you may be just joining. You could have been, no, there were three people watching, and so now there's two. So I don't know. It could have been you that was watching and that decided to join. I'm not sure, but
That was me.
okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Um, so you've been on for a while. So you have been working on things so far.
Yeah, I was on a call, so that's why I didn't join.
Got it, got it. No worries, no worries. Well,
How are you, Jasmine?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a pretty busy week. There's just like a lot of catch up. And as always, with our first session, when I'm first getting into it, I tend to be in a state of setting myself up, right? So there's like
Yeah,
a little bit of like, oh, let me pull this up. Oh, wait, there are these other things. So it did take me a little bit of time to kind of get situated and going. How's your week going?
about the same. I've been sick, so I've been
Oh,
out
no.
for a few days, and now I'm just getting back into it. So I wouldn't necessarily say catch up, but start up again.
Got to start a timer. So it looks like last week maybe y'all did 5 minute breaks. So we're going to try that because 10 minutes does seem kind of long. You kind of get through the first five and you just kind of fiddling around. Were you here last? You were here last week.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, we can always stay longer if we need to while everybody's working, but yeah, I thought the 5 minute breaks worked well. I think
Yeah,
that's what I typically do. Anyway.
same, same. Just, yeah, it depends on my day. So sometimes if I want to take a walk, then I'll make it a little bit longer. But
Yeah,
um,
that's what I was going to say.
yeah, but in general, especially if there's not, I mean, I don't know, there's kind of us on here. Do you have anything planned for these upcoming sessions? The next work session, I guess.
Yeah, I'm actually right now. I'm working on a little side hustle project.
Oh,
I'll probably be focused on that for an hour or so, and then I'll switch over to an actual project that I have.
okay, perfect. Wait, so can you share your side hustle?
Not yet.
Okay, all right,
Currently,
perfect.
I'm just playing around. I'm building out a site, and
Okay,
so I'm just
cool.
kind of building the framework. But yeah, as I get a little closer, I can start sharing.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, usually within this little break, I do like to give a little bit of a couple of tips. There's little micro habits that you can do to build momentum towards long term success. This is just for anybody that's listening. I do see a couple on. So I will say you can start your day with a 5 minute planning session. So usually in the mornings, I'll spend a little bit of time really identifying my top three priorities for the day. And what that does is it helps kind of create a sense of clarity that sets the tone for a productive day. Now, in the beginning of the session, I did get a little bit sidetracked, but I did have my main goal that I'm kind of working on. Another thing that I tend to practice is a little bit of a 2 minute rule. So if a task takes 2 minutes or less to do it, I try to do it immediately. Um, More than likely, it's because I'll forget if I don't do it right then. But what it also does is it helps mentally to kind of reduce a little bit of the clutter and having all those small tasks really pile up on you. And so it helps to create little micro wins and gives you a sense of success. Um, at the end of the day, I'll do a little bit of a reflection. I'll just jot down some of the things that I've accomplished throughout the day so that I can feel as though I've done some things. It helps encourage a continuous improvement and really positive reinforcement, and really takes a look at the things that you did accomplish instead of a lot of times we tend to focus on the negative and the things that we did not get to do. Another thing that I do is a 1 minute focused reset. So a lot of times when you are working on something, you may get distracted. There's, I guess, studies that show that it takes about 20 minutes to get back on task once you're brought out and into a distracted state. So if you just take a minute to kind of close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths and reset, that'll help you break that cycle a little bit quicker and helps you get back to being focused. The other thing we talked about doing our breaks. So typically it's about 5 minutes. About once an hour or every couple an hour and a half, about 90 minutes, I'll do like a 15-minute break. Really get up, stretch, walk around. We can kind of get focused in um, on our tasks, and over the long term, that can help lead to burnout. So we don't want that. We want to both enhance physical and mental stamina over time. So taking those little bit of breaks, looking across the room, focusing your eyes on something far away helps to exercise your eye muscles so you don't get caught up with that close screen time all the time. It helps to help your eyes stay strong. I don't know if you have any thoughts or other tips that you use, Just, but feel free to share.
Well, that's a good section, cross section of tips. A lot of those come from the GTD strategy.
Hmm.
So I use
Perfect.
some similar things. But
Awesome. Awesome. We have about 30 minutes left in this break. I guess I could have taken off this session, but we have about 20 seconds left now in this break. We're going to head into another 30-minute session of work. I am going to get going, still working on wrapping up. I had a workshop last week. That's why I had a little bit of help during last week's session. So I'm really giving people feedback on, what went well, and giving them some takeaways so that they can move forward and know that all of their input did not just go into a vacuum and disappear. What are you going to be working on, Jess? You said your website for your side hustle.
yeah, right now I'm doing a little layout,
All
some
right,
wire.
perfect, perfect. Cool. Well, we're about to get started with the second session. So it's a 30-minute work session of deep work. I'll be working through some music so we can kind of stay focused. Feel free to come on stage. Let us know what you're working on. Type in the chat where you're joining us from. And if you plan on working on something in the next 30 minutes, we can follow up with you after this session is over, see how you did, see if there's anything that you needed to change moving forward so that we can make sure that we're having productive time. All right, we're about to get started. You guys have a great session. All right, all right. We have just finished session 2 of Blitz Club for the Turbo Thursdays with Jasmine. So I'm not sure exactly how things went for you guys that are out there, but for me, I was able to get some progress in the email that I'm starting to send out. So what I'm trying to do is um, give a follow up to the people that participated in a workshop that I held last week. Basically, we're trying to build a standard operating procedure process for project management. And we had some consultants come in, do a little bit of uh, Q&A with some of the directors to really get a handle on how we wanted to move forward with project management within the city. And we still have a debrief and things to do, but I did want to make sure that I followed up with everyone that participated, let them know that their responses and everything were heard, and that we wanted to let them know that we wanted to start scheduling the next phases so we can get through the rest of the document. Um, there's nobody else on here currently on stage to get their feedback, but for me, things went well. I do see a couple of you online. If you would just enter it in the chat what you're working on, maybe where you're tuning in from, just so we can, see how things went for you this session. What I will say is that there's definitely a bit of a mindset shift that has taken place over just my use of Blitzit, just the app in general, and then in participating in Blitz Club. So some of the mindset shifts that I've had is one, letting go of perfectionism. I'm the type that tends to really focus on what my end product is going to be. And what it does is it hinders me from moving forward uh, because I'm really just stuck on what the outcome is going to be. So once you kind of let go a little bit of the perfectionism and just get into the mindset of just do it, looking at progress over perfection, you'll really see that what your work product is in the end usually isn't as bad as what you think it is, or better than you thought it would be if you just at least take a couple of steps forward to making progress in the direction that you're wanting to go. So basically, looking at the progress over the outcome. So a lot of the tasks that I do are long-term tasks. So I may set my app to work on something for an hour, just so I can kind of get started, and really just being okay with, okay, I focused for an hour on this task. I'm done with what I plan to get done. And so now I can move forward with my next task. Because a lot of times, you really want to see what the end product looks like, or you may get overwhelmed with just how much work that you need to get done. But a lot of times, just taking those large projects, breaking them down into chunks, and as long as you're focusing in on those chunks of time that you're getting through, you'll start making progress towards your end goal. Hey, Omar, how are you doing? Good. You're muted. Let's see. I can take this off. Nope, it's not me. I don't think that I heard you. You can hear me though? Okay. All right. So maybe
Hear me
that's,
now?
yes, I do. Okay, perfect.
Great, that was my fault. Yeah, no, thanks. I'm good, thanks. Yeah, not too bad. Just on a big sprint with trying to get some video promotion, like promotional videos edited and slapped together. So just doing a lot of work there.
Perfect. Awesome. Are you working on any current tasks that this sprint is helping you with, or are you just kind of all over the place right now?
Well, I came very obviously late, and then I had to just jump away from my desk for a while. I just come back, but I'll just continue even after this session. I'm gonna just continue moving forwards. But yeah, I do have this really important edit that I need to finish.
Perfect.
And yeah, I mean, I did a couple of things. For the time I was there, I was definitely focused for that moment. I got some stuff done, but it was
Yeah.
short-lived because I had to leave my desk.
Yes, yes. Well, listen, things happen. And one of the things I was saying in the end of the first session is that sometimes, especially when you're first getting onto, some sort of Blitz club or flow session, it takes a little bit of time sometimes to really get going. And then things
Yeah,
do pop up, and not really getting um, overwhelmed. A lot of times people look at themselves negatively if they have to
yeah,
go ahead and switch tasks. I know you're pretty good at like not feeling defeated just because something pops up. So,
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, because I manage a lot of stuff. I typically have to kind of switch over to different responsibilities throughout the week,
yeah,
which is hard, a good and bad thing. I mean, I manage a lot, but I also struggle to find like a long period of focus time for one task, and sometimes I need that.
mhm,
So I'm sure a lot of people also kind of juggle tasks, right? Especially if you're like in like a leadership position, you have to like help a lot of people, but you also have to focus on your own tasks. I think that's my main struggle. So,
yeah,
and for sure, like the focus sessions, the focus clubs, um, the Blitz clubs help me a lot for sure.
right, right. Awesome. Well, we'll be getting started again in about 3 minutes. So there are a couple of you guys on. If you want to go get some water, take a little bit of a break. We'll be back on in about 3 minutes with our next session, our final session of the night. It'll be 30 minutes of just focused work. So what we're doing now is basically a live co-working session. If you would like to join us on stage, feel free. What we find is that if you're working, even if you're just sharing a screen with other people, um, you tend to really focus in and get a lot of work done. If you could share with us in the chat, if you don't feel comfortable coming on stage, that's no issue. Just let us know where you're tuning in from. Maybe let us know some of the tasks that you want to get done in the next 30-minute session so that we can kind of help keep you accountable if that's something that you're okay with. If not, no problem. Feel free to join us in the shadows. But some of the things that we covered in the first session are you know, different ways, micro habits that you can use to help build momentum towards long term success. I gave a couple of examples about how my mindset has shifted with the work that I'm doing, especially with long tasks, not really being overwhelmed at not seeing a huge amount of work done, but really focused on the time that I'm putting in towards them. And know that as long as I'm putting in the time that I plan, then I'll start seeing gradual progress along the way. I guess just an aside, one of the books that helped me with that is called The Compound Effect. I think it's by Harvey, like Dan Harvey. I have to remember. I'll put it in the chat once I find it. But really, just incremental progress over time leads to big results. Is kind of the message behind that book. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. We just got a minute and 40 seconds to get going into our final Blitz session for the day. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself. Oh, I was close. It's The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. I was super close. Awesome. Well,
I
we
have to
have
read
about
that. I haven't. I think I've heard of the book, but it sounds
yeah,
like a good read for sure. But I've just been really bad with picking up books lately. I mean, I've had good times where, I mean, I guess like phases where I, go on a reading spree and pick up a
right.
book and just get through it, get through the entire book very quickly. But I haven't been consistent, which
Yeah,
I should, because you pick up so much from books for sure, from reading in general.
100%. 100%. My issue is definitely that I think, work home a lot. I travel a lot, especially taking my kids to school and whatnot. So I do a lot of audiobooks. So that helps me to kind of get my reading in, though it's not reading. Um, so that's helped me a ton. So I kind of use those gaps to kind of get some knowledge.
Makes sense.
Yeah, perfect. Well, we are at our 5 minute mark, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the final session for today. As you come in, just a reminder, let us know where you're joining from. Let us know what tasks you're working on so we can help with keeping you accountable, and then have an awesome 30-minute session. All right, all right. We are done with our third Blitz Club session. So we are on break currently. Um, and this is actually the last break of the day. We are completed. You guys have made it. That is super, super awesome. So, one of the things that I wanted to touch on just at the end would be what are some of your accomplishments? So, in this last session, uh, or in the total of the past three sessions, what are some of the things that you're able to complete? And what this does is it helps reinforce positive momentum. So for myself, I was able to complete a progress status report, just kind of putting it together, formatting it, making sure that it looks good. So when I send it to people, it's useful to them. So with that, I got through part of the draft of the email that will go with it. So it's not 100% complete, but the main thing is that report. It is complete. I also completed the draft of that workshop follow-up email that I discussed. So last week we worked on a project management standard operating procedures document, like, well, the first parts of it. And so we really focused on what is a project and then maybe tiers to how this organization would be categorizing their projects so they know how to treat them. So I just wanted to give a follow up to everyone, thanking them for their participation, and then giving the takeaways from that meeting so that they know that they were heard and what they put down we're really taking into consideration as we move forward in creating that document for them. um, I already said that I'm in progress on the email that's going to go with the status report that I'm putting together. So that's where I am. If any of you feel like you would like to put anything in the chat in regards to your progress, your wins for this session, things that you wanted to improve on. I think in one of the sessions I did mention my biggest challenge is usually in the first session, really getting started. Usually the first 5 to 10 minutes, I'm really getting settled into getting into doing the work. So things may get a little bit distracting at first, like, oh, here's my email, or here's this thing, and oh, here's this other thing that I can work on. So it's really about me uh, noticing that I'm getting distracted, maybe putting it on. I'll minimize that screen so I know I can come back to it later once my first session is done. And then if it's something that is a task that I need to put time in on, I'll add it to my Blitzit app so that I can make sure that I set some time along to go ahead and get that completed. Now, while we're here, I did want to do a little bit of an overview of the Blitzit app just so you can see when I'm talking about it, what I'm talking about. Um, Let me see if I can add this back onto the screen. I'll add this to the stage. All right. So just so you can see what it is. So, all right. So I have multiple days. So I have multiple lists, and all of them just help me get my work done. So usually I'm working from this CIP planning list. And so there's a list of tasks, and you just kind of put on what it is that you're going to be working on. And then as you go through, you mark them as complete, and then it takes it through to your completed task list. I have some things that I'm working on that are kind of in progress that I need to kind of get through. So you see those things there. My personal one, I have linked to my Google Calendar. And what that allows me to do is to have things that are scheduled inside of my personal Google Calendar. It'll pull it over for me so that I don't have to really think about looking at my calendar all the time. It just pops up in my to-do list. So these are things that I have possibly recurring. This is something that I actually attended yesterday, so I can mark that as complete. And once I mark it as complete, it'll shift over to completed in this list. So that's how I track what it is that I'm doing, and I know how to move forward from there. I have another list I have that's attached to one of my work calendars and just tasks for my side business. So there's a couple of things that I use within the Blitzit app. So that is the host of these Blitz Club sessions that we really knock out working towards accomplishing our goals. So I just wanted to kind of make sure that I covered that with you guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and close out the session. If you have any feedback, even afterwards, we'll take a look at the chat and see if there's anything that we could do to help you be productive and really get through your tasks. So this was a great session. I appreciate your time. This will happen again next week, same time. So next Thursday, 12 p.m. Central to 2 p.m. Central is that block. And then I need to confirm UK time. I want to say it's 6 UK time in the afternoon. So I'll get that. I have a hard time kind of remembering that. So 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, US, and then I believe it's 6 p.m. Uh, in UK time. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.